Time to sit back, get comfortable, and fill your wine glass. You don't drink wine? Well, neither did I, until I came across Winc.com. After answering 6 simple questions, they did the work of selecting from hundreds of wines to find the 4 bottles that resonated with my taste buds. The best part, these custom order boxes of wine are delivered right to your doorstep at no extra cost. I know, right? You don't even have to put jeans on. For me, Winc is the absolute best, so I just couldn't wait to share it with you. Use the link provided in the description to get $22 off your first order. My gift to you. Seriously, let's all just stay home, drink wine, and enjoy this episode.
Hey yo, who gave this girl a mic?
And we're live this morning with Danielle and Jen. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. Coming so far, 45 minutes to come and record with me. It's super early. I really appreciate it. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, doing well. It was nice to see the sunset kind of coming in on the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Sunrise, not sunset.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. It looks really, really pretty, with the mountains and stuff. There's a section where there's nothing, and so it's just kind of peaceful, to get out of the city for a while.
Yeah, usually I'm not an early riser, but
really?
My body's still on East Coast time, so it worked out.
Oh wow, I appreciate that. I'm an early bird, so
Me too.
yeah. All right. So as you know, I like to start each episode with the quote of the day. Just something to get the listeners thinking, whether, it's inspirational, it's funny, whatever it is that's meaningful to you guys in any way. I'd be honored if you guys would share that. So just take it away from here.
So the quote I think go for today is one day or day one, you decide. And I think if you just sit and listen to it and think through, it's simple, but it truly asks you if you're actually taking actions towards what you're wanting to accomplish, or if you're still sitting with just a thought.
Yeah.
Right? It's better to be in motion than just kind of stagnant and waiting for something to happen.
Mm-hmm. And I like how it says, you decide. It's like, it really is up to just the person. Depends on how bad they want it, or, to make moves and make things happen for themselves, getting out of your own way.
Exactly.
I love that. No, I love that. As you guys know, I am the host of the podcast, of course, but I am hosting right now a Women at Work series, and I'm highlighting beautiful women that are, kicking ass in their businesses, thriving, making a name for themselves in the business world. And, you guys have a Taekwondo studio that completely stood out. My husband was so excited. He's like, that's so badass. I'm like, look at this. I'm like, I'm inviting these women. They have their own Taekwondo studio. He's like, no way. He's like, that's badass. I mean, cause he's always talking about when my daughter's old enough, she's going to do Taekwondo. And, so I thought that was exciting. I thought that was cool. Where did this come from? Where did this even stem from? I mean, Taekwondo is definitely something that is there, but I don't know anyone personally that has ever been like, I love it so much, I'm gonna open up, So how did this come to be?
Yeah, so I competed in Taekwondo since I was about 5 years old. Jenny, when she was about 8.
Oh wow!
And we would just compete, and we met actually in the collegiate circuit. So the big national tournaments, and we would go and compete in our designated divisions. And then we made a collegiate national team in 2010, and that's where we met. And then since
in China.
Well,
technically we met in Mexico. At a training camp in preparation for a big World University Taekwondo Championships that were being hosted in China.
Oh, wow.
So we made the U.S. collegiate team. We were living in different states and met training and then competing abroad.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So then that was back in 2010. And I lived in Rhode Island. She lived in Phoenix. And we were instantly friends. And about 4 years ago, I moved to Phoenix. And we always said, like, hey, I wish we could live closer so we can be training partners, because I really didn't have a training partner. She really didn't have a training partner. And like we had that similar struggle, and we're like, dang, we wish we lived closer. So like back 4 years ago, I moved to Phoenix, and
just for this.
No,
Or-
actually, just to get out of Rhode Island.
Okay.
I was born and raised there, so I moved somewhere else, and I moved.
So you guys were that close of friends that you were like, I'm just going to move to Phoenix, just let's see how it goes, what Phoenix has to offer in terms of careers and stuff. Because I'm assuming at that point you guys each had your own, corporate jobs and stuff, correct?
Technically, we still do.
Yeah, we still do.
But you know what's crazy is when she moved here, like 5 months after she moved out to Phoenix, quarantine. So,
Oh
pandemic.
no.
So think of that timeline. I'm like, yeah, come to Phoenix. It's great. Boom, world shuts down.
Yeah.
And
That must have been kind of discouraging in a way, right?
A little bit.
it was also kind of fun.
It was also kind of fun. I lived with her at the time.
Oh, okay. So you
it
went
was-
straight to roommates.
Yeah.
We got to play every day. We were out in the backyard making TikToks with soccer balls. And we got to enjoy, thankfully, right? We had the privilege of our jobs allowed us to still, we were still making money and we were in the safety of our homes.
Yeah.
And gosh, that was fun. Now we barely hang out because we're always working on the business.
Oh.
Our jobs and then the school.
Yeah.
But ultimately, during quarantine, we're like, hey, we always wanted to do this. Now's the time. We just got to do it.
Had either of you ever had any prior experience owning any business of any kind, or like came from family that owned business?
None. Zero. So we're neither of us. We love Taekwondo. We retired from competing. What's next? We both still wanted to give back into the sport that really gave into our lives and transformed who we were and still is at the forefront of how we live our day-to-day with values. And naturally, we're like, is it time? Right? We live together. We're here. I think we're meant to do something. And so we both kind of started having little conversations, not deep. Hey, you think we should do it? Yeah, we'll talk about it. And then we started, pulling out a little big notepad and writing ideas for names. And that's where it came about, talking about it.
And how did you settle on True Taekwondo?
That Post-it. We had a big Post-it and we were like, just thinking of words that would
Define us.
Yeah, define us. And then we're like, true. Like, okay, this works. And then we both liked it just because we're able to give ourselves.
Is there like a deep meaning with that though? Like elaborate.
Yes. So for both of us, right? Women in a martial arts space, back to what you were mentioning with your husband even acknowledging like they own it. Yeah. We want to encourage anybody who we talk to, anybody who's our student, of course, to embody being truthful to who they are. And it goes for us deeper than just martial arts, right? We're true martial artists. We are women, and we're not afraid to show up as beautiful, strong women. We're both part of the LGBTQ community. So it's making sure that we are being known and loud and inviting of those that identify with us to be true.
Yeah.
And that's, again, more of a personal journey, too. Coming from having experienced a lot of different types of martial arts approaches, the level of teaching, the way in which people are coached, we're going at it with a more empathetic cultural celebration. We hug our students. It's embracing who we are because we're being true. We don't need to, and we're still keeping the tradition of martial arts, the bowing, the respect. That's not going away, but we're adding to what we bring.
So keeping the authenticity, but still remaining or adding compassion to it, adding you can still be yourself and celebrate who you are and not be ashamed while still, continuing traditional forms of, or, the way that it's practiced.
Absolutely.
So that was very important to you guys. I love that. And having so many years of experience with Taekwondo, I'm sure you guys picked up like, well, we want to bring this and this, maybe we'll omit, maybe, things like that. That must have been fun, right?
I think we're still in that.
We're still in the progress of it.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So from when you guys were brainstorming, trying to come up with names, that's always the first thing we think of, right? The name, because it's like the easiest thing.
The hardest.
Because it sticks with the brand. So it actually, and we took that very seriously. We took a long time, and that notepad just stayed out for a while. We didn't like any of the names. And then when True came up, we're like, this is us. It stood out.
And then you have to say it in different ways and, trying to see how it would look on social media, how the handle would look.
Like true TKD. Okay, that works. True, we can't make it too long. It has to be short and sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all those things to think about. Now, from when you guys were brainstorming to that, how long did it take you to execute? What was the window up until you guys were then?
About 2 years.
Yeah.
Between starting the conversation of just like little elbows to each other of, hey, should we do this? The consideration.
Mm-hmm.
To then, again, quarantine, kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel with, okay, maybe things are going to reopen up. Should we start looking for spaces to explore if this is a viable option?
Mm-hmm.
Should we start creating a plan? So it was all conversation. I'd say for a year, it was just a thought. And then I think another year is then when we decided, let's go in on this.
By that point, it's 2021, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Start saving. So then we both agreed, okay, how are we going to fund this?
Mm-hmm.
And we both came to the agreement of let's self-fund. We need to start saving.
Mm-hmm.
So then that was step 2. And then the third step was truly starting to look for a space. And that took months.
Yeah, that took a while.
We were when we were going with our leasing rep to visit locations and the cost was really high. We didn't enjoy all the landlords, muy frios. They were so business and money, and they didn't care about what we were trying to do for the community or who we were. And we felt that.
Just kind of, can you pay? Can you make the,
Oh, do you have business experience? No. Well, do you have statements to prove it? How do I know you're going to pay rent? I don't trust us.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan? I don't know. We don't know either.
Yeah. And then the places were really nice, but super expensive, way out of our budget.
$5,000 a month for $2,000, for 1,500 square feet, maybe.
Mm-hmm. So I've looked into commercial, and it's scary. And I told my husband, I'm like, now that you kind of do your research, you look at these businesses in a different light. Like a little business that comes up, even if it's frozen yogurt, I'm like, damn, I wonder how much that's like.
How many do they have to sell to?
Yeah, it's little things. So
it was the last space we went to where we're at now. It was literally the last one where we're like, if this doesn't work, we need to sit down and revisit our approach.
We're going to reevaluate everything.
Or the budget and stuff, or, Because were you guys set on, the square footage or, what you needed? Or you guys were super, whatever is in our budget, kind of?
Whatever's in the budget, open space, near people.
Okay. Doesn't seem like it was too much.
Yeah. You would think. But when the budget is low, it was a barrier.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned it was self-funded. You guys weren't interested in, grants, loans, or anything like that, or? We were interested in grants, but, you have to really exist before you can apply for most grants for at least a year, a couple months, prove that you're already in business. And for us to teach martial arts, we needed a space. Mm-hmm. Could we have done some virtual stuff? Maybe, but it's not us. So we self-funded. And then we have been able to lock in 2 grants, thankfully, that have really supported our business. And here we are. Now, were you guys ever considering maybe teaching at a park? Teaching at,
Yeah, we did.
You did do that?
Yeah, we had actually Jenny's backyard.
Oh!
we tried to get the community kids, all right, let's see how this is going to work.
For free. That was the first mistake.
Yeah.
And then we just come and we would talk to the parents, bring them for an hour, let them come. And, the kids would just show up running down the street. I'd open up my back gate. And that was one of the first investments we made. We went to California. We borrowed my dad's truck, bought mats, drove them back, and we set up mats in my yard. And, that happened for maybe 3 months.
Yeah.
And then the kids stopped showing up. Oh. And we said, okay, if they're not coming, why are we hosting this? Let's be done. We need our time back.
And then we did talk about community centers. We checked out a couple of gym areas. Maybe we could potentially go in the gym and train there. But it just didn't feel right. It didn't work out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you did kind of scope out collaboration stuff. And I know you said first mistake was offering for free. Why do you say that? I say that because really we love the community, and
I think part of why they stopped showing up is there was no reason to have to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was like, come train. But we would be there ready to train, eager to teach them Taekwondo for years to come. And then, you know, like one day they show up, the next week nobody's there. And I'm like calling the parents, like, hey, where are they at? Oh, you know, they're playing soccer. And I'm like, what about Taekwondo? So, I mean, it was just, I think it was our attempt at wanting to do it for as cheap as possible, meaning we don't pay overhead, let's just teach people. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, right, when somebody's looking for a martial arts studio, people want to train, and there's power to a community, to having a space where you're all in synchronization with movement and learning and art. It was a fun try. It was an attempt.
I mean, it's all trial and error. It's all learning and getting experience, especially having never owned a business or knowing, you know. Now, let's talk about getting down to the nitty gritty on deciding prices. Cause I sell myself cheap all the time because I'm way too considerate, or I like to just be, you know, I don't want to turn people away, you know, for something. Like how was that for you guys getting into, you know, having to decide and, you know?
Yeah, it was a tough conversation because we wanted to be, okay, yeah, everybody come, everybody able to afford to come to our school. But then realistically, it's not a very good way to run a business because we still need to be funded for rent spaces and equipment prices. So then we had to talk with it. Hey, we need to raise our prices because when we first started, it was a pretty low price. And we were definitely selling ourselves short.
And I think the reason for us starting at that level, it wasn't that we didn't value what we brought to the table. In fact, one thing we're really proud of is the quality of Taekwondo that we teach.
Yeah.
And in the state, in the nation, again, you got with two people that competed in the international level, multiple national titles from each of us in our respective weight divisions. I mean, we have a lot of experience in the sport. We wanted to bring quality at an affordable rate so that people can gain this experience. And when we say that, it's because we're in a really unique location. We're off of Van Buren and 18th Avenue. So we're in a neighborhood near downtown Phoenix. So you've got pockets where there's quite a bit of disposable income. And then you have where we are, which is low socioeconomic families. Not a lot of money to throw around at an extracurricular activity. So that was our way of, okay, if we're here, then maybe we can help by offsetting cost. But at the end of the day, I mean, we had to up, I think, 7 months into it to just make ourselves more marketable and to be realistic with the expenses we have.
Yeah, we were still putting in our own money for like the first
8 months.
Yeah,
probably.
8 months.
At any point were you guys thinking during that time, like, maybe this wasn't a good idea or it's not panning out how?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Really?
All the time. All the time.
Yeah.
Is it like imposter syndrome or kind of like, this isn't working out how I thought it was going to?
A little bit of both. Imposter syndrome is real. And I think most people that run a business can speak to that for their own experience. Again, we have all this experience, and even then, right, we're wondering, is this the best way to teach it? Is this the approach that is going to be most beneficial to our students? And then the other side of that, you know, is this going to work long term? It's the how much longer do we need to keep investing from our own? Is there going to be return, and when? Because for us, we're doing it out of love and passion, but if we're not seeing the interest, we're seeing really slow growth. That I'll say for me, that was one of the most discouraging pieces at starting. How long it took us to just get 5 students.
Really?
Months. Granted, we literally every student we have right now has just been organic. We didn't have money to pour into marketing and this and that and ads. It's all been foot traffic. Referrals, people that come and try it, love it. And they see the cost and compare to others and they see our value. But it's been challenging to grow our student base. And that's where now our mindset has shifted into what can we do creatively. Yes, martial arts schools normally focus on, let's get more students. But what else can we do with our space to help offset cost if we're not focusing on students? Because right now, we're still trying to figure out how to get leads. and it's playing. We're figuring it out as we go.
When we first started, we were like, we plan on getting this many students
50
this month,
in 3 months.
right? And then come to reality, like, okay, we're just sitting there and nobody's coming in.
It was humbling.
Yeah.
It still is. It's humbling to talk about.
I love how honest you guys are being, and just, because that's what that's a reason why I started the series. Is a lot of people think about starting a business and they think it's just right off the top. It's like, you have a great idea. I mean, you guys have the talent. You guys have literally the resumes that show national, competitors and all that. So immediately in your mind, it's not crazy to think, the since we have the talent, the people are going to be there. But is it also a competitive market, would you say, or no?
I don't believe in, well, you had something to say.
No, go ahead.
I truly believe that there's enough to go around for everybody to succeed. There's so many. We're in Phoenix, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
We have all these people to help through martial arts.
Yeah.
I don't see a martial arts school down the street as a competitor to us.
Oh, okay.
I see them as they're also trying to help influence lives. Hopefully, right? You do have some McDojos, but I really believe there's enough to go around. It's just a matter of people finding the right culture and fit for them. And I think one of the things that I love about the students that we get to impact their lives is it's families. It's, again, people that speak Spanish.
That's big.
It's the students that remind me of little me. And I mean, that pours into our souls. So I don't see it as competition. I truly don't. There's more than enough to go around.
So then it's just a form of, whenever you're just trying to sell something, it's just a hit or miss pretty much.
Oh yeah. I actually don't see it as, the perception of it has to be, we need to understand what the parent who comes to our space, the fact that they've already had the courage to walk into a martial arts school, they're looking for something. Our job at that point is not to sell something, it's to listen to what they're needing and what we can provide. What solution can we give them?
Yeah.
And then it's not us having to sell, it's they see what we can provide for them and it makes sense. A partnership with our students and what we do. So, we're not, we have to get them with us. No, of course we want every student. If they walk in and, they're looking fit for something else, go find it. Here's what we offer and here's what we can do to provide you a solution for that.
Yeah.
And
what I think is beautiful is you don't see these kids as like dollar bills, and it's just, even with the fact of starting in your backyard, you're like, we're gonna teach them Taekwondo, we're gonna share this craft, because that's how much heart there is, in it. And you guys really think this is an art that every kid should have. And I mean, I agree. I would have, my brothers did karate, I think, when they were younger, and my parents, they never put my sister and I, but they still say to this day, like, it would have been nice.
Oh.
And my husband, since, my daughter was born, he's like, she's gonna do martial arts.
And I love that you're
more than martial arts too. Like, this really helps outside of the martial arts school. We were able to see the world, right? We were able to travel through Taekwondo, meet people all over the world through Taekwondo. So I think it's more than just doing a martial art. It's really like a life-changing thing if you commit to it.
You get connected to people that understand and learn how to live with a growth mindset, even if they don't recognize what that is yet. Right? For us as coaches, we know difference between fixed and growth mindset, but when we see it in our students evolve and that they have the ability to speak in front of groups at the age of 10, 11, when you've got other 10-year-olds that still are not even able to look an adult in the eyes. Yeah. I mean, those are the soft skills that really take people far in any room. Our kids are going to stand out. Our adults, everyone comes in for a different purpose, but we know it from experience, all that comes from Taekwondo.
And like, what would you say are the core values of true Taekwondo as of right now of your business?
We're looking at each other. Who's got which question? So again, we really value high quality Taekwondo. We value familial. So the family environment to us is very important. Yes, we are teaching martial arts, but martial arts is just a vehicle to help people feel the love and support that we want and that we've had from our family. We want to be that space of safety for other people. And then again, just we core values, we said quality taekwondo, family environment, cultural embrace. Cultural embrace and empowerment. Again, everybody, whether it's through the taekwondo program or self-defense, anyone who goes into our space, we want them to walk out feeling empowered, feeling 1 inch taller in some way, right? Than they did when they walked in, or potentially before they even started training. And it looks different for every student. That's the other piece, right? When you're asking for examples, I mean, we can think of our students and name very different growths that we've seen already within our students, and it hasn't even been 2 years yet.
Wow. It's a beautiful thing seeing how they're actually, like, to them, this is fun. You know, it's fun, and
They're
they're
sport.
and they don't realize how much of the skills are actually, you know, embodying and transforming themselves to and that's the beauty of it. When you're doing something that you truly enjoying, you don't realize the hard work you're actually putting in because you're eager to learn and you're eager to, you know. Do you guys I mean, I know you say children, right? So what are the age groups of?
Yeah. Our youngest that we started was 4, all the way for our kids program, it'll be into 12. And then once they turn 13, all the way up for adults.
So mixed classes between 13-year-olds and adults and stuff?
Yes. So we'll have our kids program. We break it down into beginner level, then also intermediate level, and then all of the adult program will be together.
And what are the hours you guys are offering right now?
Yep. 5:15 to 6 o'clock is our kids class. That's on Wednesdays and Fridays. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, our 5:15 to 6 o'clock is our beginner class. And then 6 to 6:45 is our intermediate class. And then 6:50 to 7:50 is our adult class. And then on Wednesdays at 6:50, we have our competition class.
Oh, wow. Okay. That was my next question. So you guys are competing and, you know, having your kids involved in, you know, competitions?
That was one of the things one of the main motivators for us to really launch and have a space is, again, you're talking vision, where do we want to be? We want to grow true to a place where we are known in the state of Arizona for being a place that builds competitors. People that are trying to go to national championships and win national titles like we have. People that are trying to go qualify for the U.S. national team. People that are trying to make the collegiate team like we've been on multiple times. So that, to build that, you have to create a pipeline and a system to develop talent. And right now, our competitors are all kids. Right now, we've got a group of 5 students, and they're high quality green belts. They are so good. I feel like every other week I text Danielle, I'm like, our kids look so good. Because I just see them sometimes and I'm like, man, I'm like, they look so sharp. They don't even know how good they are. And so that's our competition group right now. It's kids, but again, I mean, they're growing with us. And we're hoping that as people start to know true Taekwondo, true athletics, and who we are, that more come so that we can keep developing them into champions. So long term, again, that's where we want to be. This year will be the first year we're trying to qualify some of those competitors for national championships.
Wow.
And we'll know, again, that's in July. And we're taking that group of 5 to see how they do and hopefully qualify for nationals. And even though they're color belts, they can still be national champions. And now starting to put that little seed in them to see if they love the competition circuit or if they'd rather just practice.
Bringing them around the environment and because it's a whole other world, you know, you can do something for fun. The only thing I've ever had experience competing is cheer, you know, cheerleading in the football games and basketball games is one thing. Competition is a whole other world. It could be very intimidating for some people, or it could bring them to life, you know, or you can get addicted to the
adrenaline,
the adrenaline,
and nervousness. Like,
we love it. We miss it so much.
I mean, that's what I was going to ask. You guys aren't competing anymore, or not part of any, you know, kind of company or anything like that anymore.
Well, we don't compete in Taekwondo anymore. Believe me, when we when we go to tournaments and we watch, any fight, right? Especially like if we're seeing people that are our division. So I fought middleweight, she fought heavyweight. And so if we see people fighting, well, I always am the one that instigates. I'm like, man, if we fought, like, even if we fought now, we could still kick their ass.
We could do this.
We could still kick their ass. But, you know, then we think about all these other injuries that we've gathered from fighting. And we know that, you know, right now our focus is coaching, building our business, helping others feel that sense of love for competing. But it never goes away.
Yeah.
It never goes away. Danielle has found a way to compete in another avenue, and I'll let her speak to that. But we don't compete in Taekwondo anymore.
You guys are like those old people that are like, I still got it.
Like in my day.
with the cane. You would have had to go through me to like.
My foot would have been right in your nose.
Yeah, nobody got through me back in the day. And it's okay, Grandpa. Okay, yeah, we get it. You were so badass.
It's us, and we're not even grandmas. We're still young, and we're like, oh, we could still kick their ass.
What else do you compete, Danielle?
I just recently took up flag football.
Oh,
So
that's
I've been
so
playing flag
awesome.
football. Yeah, it's been great.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We just had a competition down in Florida.
Oh, so like competing, not just
yeah.
like a turkey bowl, like meeting at the park. 'Cause that's all I know. Like my friends right now, they just go like on Thanksgiving and they come back all injured.
Yeah, no. So I play with the Phoenix Fahrenheit.
I love
and
that.
It's been awesome. It's been great. Yeah.
And that's just you having the need to just stay active or do something, you know?
Yeah. I just need to keep going.
No, I think that's good. I
sure.
mean, I think everyone needs something to keep them creative, something to make them money, something to keep them active. And, you know, whatever that is for you, I love that, you know, even at this age, I feel like we're pretty much probably the same age. Even at this age, you have to just find something that'll get your body moving.
Exactly.
And no, the flag football, I would have guessed. I would have thought like still Taekwondo, just doing something.
In our minds, we still.
Yeah.
Is that something you always wanted to dive into, or you just kind of?
So I played tackle football for a while back in Boston.
You guys are fucking badass,
Listen,
you
and
guys.
let me hype her up. She didn't just play in Boston. She was also part of the team that won the national championship 2 years in a row in Boston.
my
So
God.
continue.
Because she would have never mentioned
because
that.
we're just, again, we were taught to be humble, but we're also learning as business owners that we need to hype ourselves up.
You need to kind of, you know, I mean, I'm sure you
Just
know
share
your
the
worth,
stories,
but
yeah.
just kind of own it. Own your worth. Own what you do, you know? Because there's a lot more people that are going to like hype you up than those that are going to kind of be like, who does she think she is? No, for like honestly, and people think that people think it's the opposite. People think like a lot of people are going to just talk shit or not believe me or just, you know, no, it's literally, there's way more support than there is hate, you know? Damn, tackle football.
Yeah, so I did that for about like 4 or 5 years. And then I moved here. I tried to play tackle.
Here?
It wasn't as established. And then from there, I didn't want to play tackle anymore. It just hurt too much. And so then I found flag football and I really love it.
How long have you been doing that?
Flag? This is my first full year. Yeah, so I think I started, it's been a year. I don't remember when I actually started.
So I was going to say, you guys only offer afternoon classes, I'm assuming because of the 9 to 5 still, you know, that you guys have going on. But also I'm assuming you have to fit in your other, you know, extracurriculars in there as well.
Yeah, I do that around our Taekwondo schedule.
Okay. Now, are you guys currently 50-50 with the way you teach the classes, or are you guys both teaching every single class?
No, we're about 50-50, and then we were able to hire a part-time instructor. So
That's
a
amazing.
big one.
Thank you. That's thanks to
Congratulations.
We All Grow Latina and Capital One, the Amigas in Business grant. It was a massive help. We received that in November of last year. And
Say that one more time. What is that for our listeners?
yes, so We All Grow Latina, an amazing network of support for any Latinas that are looking to start, not even just a business, but looking for other support systems within the Latino community. Wonderful network. And again, we're honored to be one of the recipients of one of the 3 grants that they awarded in partnership with Capital One. Amazing network, leaders that truly walk the talk, right? They don't just promote something, they truly live by what I think all of us really embody, which is being proud of who we are and not living in an unapologetic way, right? Being authentic to who you are culturally in every essence of being a woman, a Latina, a business owner, and helping grow one another. I mean, even their name, again, back to intentionality. We all grow. You know, when one grows, we all grow. That's their motto.
And we need more Latina business owners. We really do. I mean, Latino, yes, too, but like Latina, just women-owned businesses are booming right now.
And let me tell you, they have grants frequently that they're creating with other entities to help Latina businesses. So we all grow Latina, or we all grow. Look them up, follow them on Instagram. They've got an app. And no, it's not endorsed. I was not paid to say that.
But you just genuinely...
I love them.
Yeah. So thanks to that grant, which I'm sure you just looked it up Googling, or did someone refer?
I had a friend that messaged me the link. And, I mean, we've applied to a lot of grants. We're constantly, again, free money, we're looking.
Yeah.
And
it is out there.
Well, it's out there. It's just, you can't give up, right? You can't get discouraged. And because when it hits, it really makes a difference. And so with that one, friend sent it to me. Shout out to Kathy. Yeah. And I just worked on the application, submitted a video, and was able to lock in money. Not just anything, too. It was $15,000.
Oh, my God.
It was the grand prize of 3 that they were awarding.
Oh, my goodness. That's just such a blessing, and that's the little, window of hope that comes in. It's like, no, dude, we're on the right path, like,
exactly. It's the realization that you have those little moments in time where maybe, again, there's highs and lows, but those signs from the universe when we're exactly where we need to be, and we're going to keep being taken care of as long as we keep pouring our hearts and souls into what we're building, which is to help. And it really is at the core of who we are. Yes, we want to succeed, to continue to do what we love, and to find other entities that see our value and that support us. The people that come in and love what we do. Yeah, it's our encouragement to not stop.
Yeah, and it's not just encouraging. It's also kind of reassuring to you guys, like, what we've got, the product we're selling, what we're doing, it's good. We've got good stuff here. Like, we're onto something. We're literally impacting lives, and we're not the only ones that see it. Like, these people see it too, which means, like, we're not delulu. Like we really are onto something, and that's so reassuring. And it's kind of like, okay, so I think other people are kind of seeing the value in what our business is. And that's such a beautiful feeling, I can imagine. Congratulations on that. So thanks to that, you guys were able to expand your staff.
Yeah. So we do still teach. Again, right now, the breakdown of how we coach is 50-50 as far as me and Danielle. And then we have our part-time instructor who helps offset. Because for the first year and a half, we were teaching every single class. It's a lot.
It is.
It's exhausting. And so this has been a nice alleviation of time. And now we're trying to be strategic with where we spend our time in helping us create more potential leads, create more of that vision, strategy, refine our systems. Yeah. The behind the scenes work that gets done, but nobody really sees.
Nobody likes either,
It's terrible.
I had a graphic designer on the podcast not that long ago. Same. And she mentioned, like, it's crazy how a lot of companies, they aren't marketing themselves correctly, which means they're not getting leads, which makes them think that their product isn't good, but their product is solid. It's just the way they're going about it, the way they're, reaching the audience. And she's like, she's like, I've met with a lot of people that are like, well, my recipe's just not done. It's like, no, your recipe's fine. The way you're marketing it, the way you're selling it, that's what needs work. And people don't automatically think that. They just think because of the way they're putting it out there, if people don't like it, oh, it's bad. It's like, well, you're not making it fun, or you're not making it accessible, or you're not, And so
we might need you to connect us to that market. No, that's actually the other part of the grant. We also are working with Side House Agency, another small business that my friend owns, and to help us actually now look into more of our marketing, right? So creating videos to share more of the story and the heart behind True, to truly give that heart that we share with our students to people that are starting to just look, right? Starting to research, scoping things out, so that it's not that they have to physically show up to see us and interact with us to see our heart. And we're excited because we're finally, again, almost year 2, starting to pour into now how do we develop leads? Can we test A/B testing for Meta?
Yeah.
How do we nurture emails? And it's all we're finally.
If you want a newsletter, if you don't want a newsletter, if you know what, how often do you want to keep people up to date?
How do we keep them up to date? I mean, we we have a WhatsApp group. We've got the newsletter that goes out every month. Some parents like texting, others like phone calls. We're trying to figure out one.
Do you want an app for your?
Imagine.
Yeah. Do you want an app where parents can just go in one place, which would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
But then you think about like, well, who's gonna run it? Or do you want to run it? Because I'm not doing it.
That's on you. No, flip a coin.
Yeah.
So as of right now, who does more of the marketing for either of you? I mean, out of either of you, I'm sure it's got to be one of you.
I'd probably say Jenny.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Jenny. Yeah.
So I'm assuming you feel the pressure as, people are scrolling. You have about the first maybe 1 or 2 seconds to really capture someone into whatever reel, whatever it is you post before they swipe again, right? So that is a whole job in itself, having to think of content,
To be honest, content in general, it's been an interesting concept for me personally because I go between really understanding the importance of sharing and all of this for the business and to make sure that we're accessible and that people are, if they're considering that they're reminded of us, right? You have to see it. I don't know the numbers. Caitlin trained us on how many times people need to see your name and your brand for them to even take an action towards, potentially becoming a student. But then I also, the other side of me, and this is maybe more of my own personal struggles and things I'm trying to overcome within myself, is that part of it is also, I also like the privacy and the work that happens behind the scenes. So I'm trying to learn, we're trying to play with True, we need to showcase not just the students and what we're doing, also why we're doing it. And that's still hard for me. I think I'm learning. And then on the personal side with our branding is still, we're business owners. How else can we funnel through the people that know us in our day-to-day lives? I mean, we have this network because of people we've met in different realms. How do we keep them, right? Keep our brand at top of mind so that if they hear a friend who has a baby, right? And then 5 years down the line, they want them to start martial arts, that we come to mind. And it's a balance between learning to share and encourage, but also reminding myself, it's okay. I'm not overdoing it with I don't want to come off as trying to sell everything I'm doing. And then I also sometimes
But then there's no problem in that either.
Well, but I also sometimes just want to disconnect because I'm tired of working.
Yeah.
And I love quiet time. I love disconnecting is one of my favorite things. But when you're running a business and trying to grow it, we don't do that very often, and we don't have, when we're doing it all ourselves. So I cannot wait to get to a place where we have support there, because for me, I do a lot better in the moment with energy. And then otherwise I'm thinking, okay, we're teaching, but let me take a picture because what am I going to post tomorrow? And what caption should we put? And what song do we select for this reel? It's a job.
It's hard.
It's a job.
And that's the business. And then we've got our personal stuff where we're still trying to make sure that we keep our friends and families in our lives.
And then our actual job.
Yeah. No, and not just that. You take so long posting and coming up with the perfect caption and you're kind of exhausted. And then the messages come in and you're like, fuck, I need to answer because they're hot. So I need to make sure I'm still, and you're like, oh my God, I really just wanted to put the phone down. But no, come on in, stuff like that.
What's your schedule? It's on our website. How old is your child? That's what you want to say. Literally the link is on our bio. But how old is your child?
Yeah.
Let's set up a phone call. I mean, it's great. It's just learning. And I think it's a challenge and it's a beautiful moment because I know when we look back on this, again, when we offset that and outsource it to somebody else, we'll be like, remember when we did it all?
How? Girl, how?
We're still in it right now.
Yeah.
Come back to us in a little bit.
So what would you say is your least favorite part of being business owner since, this whole project, not even project, this whole, business started? For each of you, what's your least favorite?
I'd say my least favorite is I'm pretty quiet, right? And having to go out and talk to I go up to somebody random.
By the way, that's the first thing she told me when she came in. She said, so Jen's going to do probably most of the talking. I've never done a podcast. She has.
I know, and that's why I literally am like,
Yeah.
if you could physically see us, I'm pointing, and we're kind of. I want to make sure that she speaks.
Yeah.
They're like, go, you go.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's my whole life. Right?
Yeah.
It's been like hard to just like go up to some random person and start talking to them, or
Yeah.
in front of a big crowd and start talking.
I wish
to
I
them.
had that problem. I don't shut up.
But she can talk. Like, but I'd say that's my least favorite, is having to go up to somebody I don't know that doesn't approach me to kind of.
So, like, you mean like when they walk in and you having to go and be like, hey, like.
But that was fun. But like if we're out, like we
like
used
an
to have to
event.
like at an event,
Flyering.
flyering, and having to go and like, hey, you have a child,
And we
I want
literally,
you to
right, we got
come.
the same amount of flyers, and we divide and conquer. But can I share that story? The first time we did one of those, again, we were invited to some community event. We asked if we could flyer, and we show up ready to go. And I can talk to any stranger. I love people.
Yeah.
And so I look at Danielle, I'm like, okay, we got this, right? Yeah. And so I just watch her first. I don't do anything. I watch her and I'm like, there's a family right there. And she's like, well, go get them. I'm like, no, you go. So they'll observe it, right? Where she's, you know, she's been able to get out of her comfort zone and realizing like we have to do it together to help. And we do have to get out of our comfort zones. Both of us do, right? So
Yeah.
she's doing well.
I bet you're
trying.
like, this is for the business.
Yeah, literally.
It's for the money.
Pep talk myself
Doing it
every
for the kids.
conversation.
Not even that. In my head, I would be like, it's for the money. It's for the money. like,
Give money away, yeah.
like, am I trying to quit my 9 to 5? Yes. Come on. It's only going to happen if I get out there. Closed mouths don't get fed. I got to get out
Exactly.
there.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm still working through it.
So it's more for you, like the having to, approach strangers and kind of
Yeah.
offer your services and stuff. Which, I mean, being a salesperson, I struggle with that too. I don't, because I personally sometimes, if I'm even at the mall, if someone's trying to, the booth people, I don't like to feel like I'm being a booth person. Some people are great at it, and my husband, he's in sales, so can talk. He can buy. I always tell him he can make an Eskimo buy ice. I'm like, literally, he's a recruiter for the National Guard, so he right away comes with the benefits, how to help, and this and that, and he's gotten all of his. He's doing kicking ass this year, and he's getting all of his soldiers with or recruits all by referrals this year.
Wow.
He hasn't had to do much because it's that same thing. Like he makes parents feel assured and all that stuff. So he came to, back when I worked in the office, he came to drop off something that I forgot at my breast pump. I forgot my breast pump. I was still breastfeeding, and it's like the elevators, and then you could see the lobby from the elevators, like down, the balcony. And I'm like, where is he? And I could hear him talking. And I'm like, what the heck is he doing? And I look, and he's telling the security, so how long have you been doing this? You like it? And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, dude.
But you have to.
And he comes,
Any opportunity.
and he comes back up, and I'm like, were you trying to freaking recruit the security? He's like, he's a kid. I wanted to see what he's doing. And if he liked it, how long he's been doing it. He's like, baby, I'm always looking at opportunities. And I'm like, seriously. So for him, it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
For me, it's more like, I don't know. Like, I do photography on the side. Babe, I think they might want a photography. Well, they'll come ask me if they do. If the conversation comes up, then I'll, offer.
Yeah.
But no, I totally get you on that part. How, that's probably like the least fun for you. But it seems like you're getting better at it. So.
I'm trying.
And I bet you more oftentimes than not, parents are more, willing to, listen and excited about, Taekwondo for their children, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine a parent be like, no, absolutely not. That's banned in the house, or we are not for violence, or
Yeah, we do get some of that, like where they're like, "Oh, I'm a non-violent." It's not violent.
We don't have them be. We're not training them to be UFC fighters. It's Taekwondo.
Yeah, well, I guess, for me, Taekwondo, I don't automatically think violent. I think just a
Art.
an art, self-defense, and kind of a skill you want, especially girls to have, mainly.
Sure.
That's my personal opinion, though. What about you, Jenny? What's your least?
Yeah, I think for me, what's been hardest is to truly realize how much I have to learn about running a business. And that's everything on the back end. Everything with, even down to like knowing what kind of expert we need to look for certain recommendations or advice or expertise. For example, or a CPA. Like, who do we go to for our taxes? Oh, you mean we have to file our business taxes before we do our personal taxes? Figuring out who to contact and who to trust with those connections. So, learning in every sense of the way, right? From contacts down to management of the actual space, communication within our team, vision. For me, I am trying to create more time within my schedule to just spend time thinking about future and not always on the tasks at hand, because that's where we've been.
Yeah.
We've been in this little, we have to do this, we have to do that. Yeah, those are the non-negotiables. We need to complete those in order to have our doors open. But what's going to get us to the next level? So more of the visionary thinking and conversations about, is this the direction that we still want to go? Recently, we had a conversation about, do we want our students to compete through the USA Taekwondo circuit or the amateur athletic union circuit?
Yeah.
Which is better for our students right now? So those are all challenges for me. What's easy is showing up, like being physically at this place and teaching what we've done for years is.
You can do that all day.
We can do it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You tell me right now, go teach a class. Great. How big of a class? Don't even tell me. I'll show up and teach. But gosh, to truly sit down and analyze the business has been a lot, and I'm just learning. So I'm trying to really take it a step back when there's time to build in time to read and to listen and to have conversations with people that can teach their experience.
Now, is there anything you guys wish you would have because again, this is the first time business owners. Is there anything you kind of wish you would have done or finished or completed before opening? And this is just more advice to any listener right there. Is there anything you wish you kind of would have taken or tackled before having opened your doors and kind of dived into this?
I'd say like having the marketing, because we're so reliant on people coming into our space. If we already had that marketing before we actually fully got started, would have been very helpful to reduce some of that stress. So we have the people and students coming in.
And the requirement of us having to fund it for, the first 8 months of opening.
So basically you wish you would have kind of hyped it up and still promoted it prior to.
Yeah. And I think back to, so that, my way of thinking of that is, or suggestion, as you said, to somebody who's considering or exploring the idea of opening up a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Would be to find a way to grow your student base or your following first. And so the way that I see it, that what we could have done, right, is start a community program, charge, but host it at a place where overhead cost is lower.
Yeah.
Rather than jumping into a lease right away, which is what we did. And again, we are still here, thank God.
But that's not the case for a lot of people.
Right. A lot of people at this point would have closed doors 2 months in when they realized they'd have to keep investing.
You guys invested in it and were paying for it, in my opinion, for a long time. 8 months. Yeah. And a lot of people after month 6 would have been like, no, I can't keep doing this. Yeah. Because it's not just those bills you have. You guys have your other bills, And
it wasn't just small amounts of money.
I can imagine.
A lot of money
a good chunk.
Each month.
Yeah. Every time we're like, ugh. Is this really what we believe in?
When does it start being fun?
Yeah, that's a great question. When you're competing is when it's fun. Yeah.
Or like, why are we doing this again? Why are we stressing ourselves over this again? Oh, because for the kids, you're right.
For the kids.
The business part is not fun, but the taekwondo and like teaching kids, that's the fun part. Like it's still fun.
That overweighs everything else.
Business is tough. It's not for the faint of heart, for sure.
So definitely starting to market and promote before opening your doors. And that may sound scary because in a way I see it and like, oh, I don't want to jinx myself and, promote something, because what if something falls through and I don't end up opening then,
Yeah.
So that part of it, I can see why it could be a little hard for someone to want to let their business out in the open or promote it before, it's a set thing.
And I think for us, it was, we knew we wanted to have a space. So we were like, let's wait until we announce the space, right? The reveal. But in reality, okay, big deal. We've got the space. Like now we have to be teaching. And we did, like I said, we didn't have any students for the first while, for a while. we were there.
And you guys were going to neighboring businesses, I'm assuming, and kind of...
We were flyering in the neighborhood, dogs barking at us all the time. Oh yeah, flyering often, but again, we're in a neighborhood, and I think that's the beauty of, we still have a lot of outreach and inviting in to do. So true athletics.
I mean, you guys are doing something right, and obviously it shows. You guys have been going at this for almost 2 years now, and you guys love it. I love how genuine you guys are being and honest with, like, no, it hasn't been all roses. It's literally it's a fuck ton of work, and we're still here though. Like, it's kicking our ass, but we're still here. And the reason I say also is because I started the series, and I obviously mentioned, if you know anyone that you think would be great, nominate or anything. And you guys were nominated.
I nominated us, by the way.
Eric Velasquez.
Hi,
Eric.
He's
and
one of our adults.
Yes, he's been on the podcast. I don't know if I should have said his last name.
Eric.
He's been on the podcast 3 times. We've known each other since elementary. Such a great supporter of Who Gave This Girl a Mic since I started. Such a sweetheart. Like, he went to my baby shower. Like, he's a friend, he's a family friend, and immediately said, hey, these girls are badass and you should have them, and I'm like, he's like, it's a taekwondo. And I was like, whoa, because of course there's nothing wrong. Of course I've had, boutique owners, hairstylists, brow, lash, so taekwondo is completely...
Yeah.
You guys stand out. So
yeah, we do.
Super badass. So I was like, oh my God, yeah, I'll reach out. I told my husband, I'm like, I reached out to these women that own a studio. He's like, oh yeah? And I'm like, it's a taekwondo. And then he's like, no shit. And he's like, yeah, oh babe, that's badass. And I was like, I know. He's like, well, hopefully they're able to and stuff. Yeah. So you guys were nominated. And again, it just comes to show you guys are doing what you have, what you're doing, what you guys are building. It's making an impact. And, Eric thinks it's, needs to be shared and believes in it and has fun. And I love seeing his stories where, him and Araceli are there. Yeah. My friend Jocelyn just posted not that long ago too, breaking the wood, I think. Yeah.
Oh, Jocelyn. So she took our self-defense class for her birthday.
Oh.
And so again, besides Taekwondo, every quarter we do host a women's self-defense class.
I love that, yeah.
And Jocelyn found out about the class through Araceli. And again, to show you the community, right? The people that are a part of True really love what we do, and they help us share what we're doing and try to promote. But she came and took the class for her birthday. And that was our way. We sang happy birthday to her. We brought out a board, and she broke it. And just to see her power and the energy, and for everybody to be cheering for her at the same time. Every single self-defense class, we leave re-energized.
I love that.
And reminded of how important it is to teach other women our strength.
Now, self-defense classes, are those just women only or, women only? And you do them how often?
Every quarter. Right now we have them quarterly. If you know of a company or organization that's wanting to host like a private group, and wants to upfront costs, we're happy to do that too. That way we don't have to be out here trying to promote and fill up the class, but trying to build those partnerships so that it's, again, just streamlined. So we host self-defense every quarter. Once a month we have community events. So, we try to do things for our members that are not Taekwondo related to show them the family side. Halloween, we had like our trunk or treat, and it was so much fun. Out, they all dressed up, and parents decorated their trunks and played music, and we were dancing. We had Galentine's in February with the ASU Taekwondo girls. We coached the ASU team as well.
Really?
And
wow.
So, anyways, I don't know why I'm listing off our community events.
No, I know. I think it's great though. You're showing you're more than just, coming in and out. It's more than just in and out a class. It's a community, and there's heart, and you guys do so much more. There's so much of your time that goes into this.
But then to hear again, that Eric nominated us. Eric and Araceli have been true supporters, and they tested recently and did amazing.
Really?
So, to learn a new art. I think one of my favorite parts about their story, which is theirs to share, but I'll share it anyways, is that they feel like they're feeding part of their inner child in now training martial arts, which is something that they wish they could have done as kids. Yeah. But now to be able to honor and be at a place financially where we can, as adults, choose what we want to do and learn, And to choose martial
Like, why
arts is
not?
hard, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy to show up and after a long day of work, which we all have,
Yeah.
to still show up and then try to learn something, to be a student. So we love and respect Eric and Edda so much.
And would you say it's never too late to try to just come in and pick up this art?
It's never too late to try anything. Yeah.
You guys are open. There's no cap.
No, no cap. For real, no cap.
I love that super. You just got it. You just got it.
It's early. Come on. She's still waking up.
I'm still waking up.
So no cap on, the age restriction. Anyone's welcome.
Yes.
Any race, ethnicity.
Oh, yeah.
Age group. I love that. I love that. You guys are doing something big.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
guys are doing something good. Thank you so much for coming on here. Was there any last minute things you guys wanted to say? Shout outs, announcements, any last minute or, just before wrapping up, advice for anyone wanting to build a craft or kind of start a business that you guys can think of?
I mean, I think first, also thank you for hosting, the series. I think it's important to hear other people's stories and feel connected to or feel the encouragement maybe needed. So props to you for what you're doing. But also, I think for anybody who's thinking about business or in it or was wanting to develop, to truly capitalize on the connections. Ask around, ask people that you trust to be connected with those that they might know. Your friends might not know that you're looking for a photographer unless you ask.
Exactly.
And that's to be able to work with your friends on building each other's businesses, which is a newer experience for me. I'm really liking that.
Yeah, the networking.
It's because I love people, but then to see that our success is true can also help somebody else's success with, their marketing agency, or eventually when we're able to pay somebody for social media management or something, right? It's an ecosystem. So I guess the encouragement would be to not be afraid to ask for your connections, to be connected to what you need, and to encourage one another. There is more than enough to go around. No, don't gatekeep the secrets, the truth, the hardships. Help each other out, and I believe we can all help the growth.
Yeah, sharing the wealth. That's what. There's enough wealth to go around, and there's always a market for everything. Every unique product has its own unique market, and it's not it's not limited. And I love how now you're discovering how it's a whole new world. I recently started networking myself, and it's crazy how you're like, oh my God, I actually been looking for something like this, or I could use that, and there's so much power in just getting out there, talking to the right people and being so forthcoming about your vision and what you're planning to do. Because people that are in those network situations with you, they're just as excited for you. And that's so reassuring, and it's so refreshing when they're like, no, wait, we can do this. Yeah, let's partner something. You're like, oh my God, you actually want to, make this happen too.
Yeah.
So I love that. What about you, Danielle? Any?
I mean, I would say, like, if you have this thought of something that you want to accomplish, just do it, honestly. It's definitely a struggle, and whatever, like a business, or if you want to go practice a new sport or take on anything, just put yourself out there and do it. It takes courage, but lean on the people that support you, and
You can never go wrong.
yeah, exactly. There's enough to go around, and just put yourself out there.
No, I love that. Someone who's so shy. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I'm like, she's shy, but this girl did tackle football. How shy is she really?
Yeah, wait till you see her tackle. It hurts.
How shy are you really if you're out here tackling? Well, thank you guys for coming on the podcast. A huge, my biggest, blessing to you guys wishing you the best of luck moving forward. I might have to pop in one of those self-defense class and text my lady after this baby's, born.
Yes. Well,
And
thank you for having us.
Of course, of course. Listeners, if you've made it this far, thank you as always. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been an amazing episode with Zenni and Danielle, owners of True Taekwondo. All their information will be linked in the description of this episode for anybody wanting more information, wanting their Instagram handles, wanting to get in touch with them for any future classes or enrollments or anything like that. And as always, you guys, if you're listening to this in the morning, have a good rest of your morning. If it's afternoon, have a good rest of your afternoon. And if it's nighttime, I hope you guys have a good night. All that's left for me to say is bye.